It's time for a quick health check on everyone's favourite video game company, Sweet Baby Inc. Only a few days ago, they thought they were walking on water, that they could get away with anything, get away with murder, they were totally immune from criticism, but now the tide has turned. Gamers are well aware of them, even the mainstream is becoming aware of them, and we've had enough. We want them to go away, leave us alone, disappear, never come back. And to refresh, there's basically a Steam Curator, a Steam tracker, where if you install it, you will no longer see games that this organisation, Sweet Baby Inc., are involved in. Essentially, they are a gaming consultancy, but they're more like a political consultancy. They'll basically insert their own political agendas into video games. And the saddest part of it isn't even that they exist. It's the fact that they didn't instantly go out of business, that these video game companies, mainstream organizations like Sony, Microsoft, the EAs of the world, I imagine, they hire these fools to inject this nonsense into the games. So this group, this curator, is fantastic. A couple of days ago, it was at 80,000. I made a video on it. It was around 80k. It's almost doubled. It's up to 150,000 now, and it's growing extremely quickly. And this is really just with, I guess, intense internet users having knowledge of it. If this really got out there into the mainstream, I think the average Steam player, if they knew about this putrid organisation and they knew what they were doing to games, they'd be on board with this as well. So I could see this really, really growing. But firstly, I just want to give you an update on what they're doing, because there's been some very strange updates, some other reveals about Sweet Baby Inc. But I've also managed to find some defenders of these clowns who are absolutely melting down at the idea that we're boycotting them, that we've had enough of this crap. So to start off with here, essentially someone managed to find a video of the co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc., Kim Belair, who proudly explains the method she uses to force bosses at game studios to censor, alter, and diversify game projects that she feels are problematic. Terrify them, aka threaten them with the anger of the cancel culture mob. So we'll watch this clip quickly.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups, and if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
Terrify them! Just hearing her speak like that passive-aggressive, just have a chat and then let them know how bad it's going to get. It reminds me of that Dylan Mulvaney character from probably months ago. I just remember this clip of him where he kind of goes, the tide is turning. And if people don't start getting on board with our ideology and how we think, they're going to have a very bad time. They should be very scared. They should be sleeping with a gun under their pillow. It's going to get very bad. It was just that kind of tone, where they don't just come out and say, hey, we basically want to murder everyone who doesn't agree with us. They try and be subtle, but it doesn't work because these people are totally insane. And Mark Kern, he is a developer. He was originally part of the original World of Warcraft team. He comments on this and says, Sweet Baby, they use fear, intimidation, and the threat of cancellation to get studios to make their games carry their political narrative. This is the founder's own words. It's totally crazy, and people are waking up to it. Now, I discovered this thread on a gaming forum called Resetera, and if you're not familiar with this forum, it's kind of like a concentration camp where the mods resemble the Gestapo, and if you say anything that is slightly outside the hive mind consensus, you are getting banned, you're going to jail, they're going to swing that hammer right down, and there's some examples of that in here. But the thread is titled, Gamergate 2.0, Chuds are Furious, about a consulting company called Sweet Baby Inc., which overviews scripts to make sure nothing offensive was written. Yeah, that's a really honest description of what's happening. It's not like Sweet Baby Inc. literally insert politics into games. They interfere. They destroy video games. They're destroying the media. These guys, and pretty much anyone like them, just this whole mindset of we're not going to make a great video game first. We're going to use video games as a vehicle to push the message. We don't care about creativity, people having a good time, escaping after work, and just enjoying something for entertainment. No, 24/7, we need to shove this crap down your throat. That is the mindset. And the thread itself, this person says, this lunatic, I have been made aware of this Steam Curator, which recently is making waves. At least they admit it. They usually try and downplay it and pretend, oh, no one's interested in this. It's just a quiet minority. They can't pretend that anymore because it is growing. 150k just about followers or installers of the Curator, and growing very quickly. A Curator dedicated to leaving bad reviews to any game that has any involvement with this company named Sweet Baby Inc. Now, I've never heard of this company until today. Turns out they are a consulting company that overviews scripts from major publishers and developers, and just tells them if anything offensive is in the scripted stuff that they should tweak. Then assists after the consultation to help make that a reality in the game. From what I can tell, that's it. Okay, right, so just a bunch of beating around the bush to say they shove their agenda into games. And if there's anything in there that they have the slightest problem with, they tell them to remove it. So again, totally destroying creativity. And this person just wants to downplay it because it suits them. That makes sense. Now, in pure gamer fashion, these people are convinced this company is responsible for making all their games woke, and it's the downfall of Western game development. No one said that. No one said that this company is solely responsible, because this shit has been going on for years now. Sweet Baby Inc., they are an example that we can point to of what is ruining the medium, but this has been going on for ages. It's pathetic. And one of the reasons that people are boycotting games with their involvement, it's not purely saying that Sweet Baby Inc. ruined the games. It is not just that. It's the pure fact that if a company is willing to hire these clowns, it is a bad video game developer who do not have their priorities in order. They don't care about making the best game possible. If they're spending their budget on these fools who add no value to anything, we shouldn't be buying their games. Again, the travesty is not that Sweet Baby Inc. exists. It's that they're not bankrupt, because no one should be hiring them. Not even going to include the shitty tweets in this post. Holy shit, Twitter is a hellhole. Stop pushing this propaganda to me. Pot calling the kettle black. This forum is literally 101 propaganda. You go in here, you are going down an absolute rabbit hole of batshit crazy nonsense. So don't talk about that. But I'm sure that you can find them, or even just read the Steam Curator group to see what these people think. These people legit have brain rot and think a script consulting firm is the reason why the new Fable doesn't have female models that look like 2B. I do not know what 2B is. When I saw this, I tried to Google it. Someone clue me in, because I'm clearly not up to date on the Fedora lingo. But if we're talking about Fable, I prepared this earlier. This is the Fable main character from the trailer, and I believe that Sweet Baby did have involvement. Now, if you actually think that this person resembles the average human being, let alone woman, then I do not know what to tell you. You bang on about all these men, they don't go out, these gamers, they don't go out into the real world and see real people. If I saw this person, I legitimately would not know what pronouns to use. Not because I'm sensitive, I'd literally be confused. I just would not know he, she, I don't know. I mentioned this forum resembles a concentration camp, and this is a clear example. One of the first comments, someone says, probably the only slight voice of reason, someone says, this thread could get ugly fast. Not sure I want to post my opinion on this. Banhammer. User banned permanently. Troll account. So because they weren't 100% on board, oh my god, this Steam Curator, the world's gonna blow up, because they didn't say that, they're banned immediately for even maybe suggesting they could have a different opinion. So you kind of know who you're dealing with from this. And it gets better. Someone is replying to a post here, And the original post said, "What woke changes are they even complaining about nowadays?" And this person goes, "The argument is that forced diversity is hurting genuine storytelling, and that Sweet Baby Inc. is forcing diversity into any games they're consulted for." Totally true. Finally, some honesty. Do they know how any game's narrative changed because of Sweet Baby's consultants? Of course they don't. That shit has never been made public, and it never will be. They're literally just looking for an easy scapegoat to explain why games they otherwise like are supposedly ruined by woke elements. Of course we don't like it, because there's a series that we traditionally enjoyed, we play the latest entry, and surprise, surprise, it feels like genuine propaganda. You've got the developers, the writers, talking down to us. As an audience member, as the customer, we're treated like villains because we're a certain nationality. That's what it's come to. That's what this is. That's why we can't stand it. And this person then quotes an article, which, honestly, it sounds like a pretty sensible article to me. It basically said that the results speak for themselves. Did you wonder why Spider-Man 2 features a storyline where you play as a deaf girl creating graffiti poems of biopic authors, all stunning, brave? It's because of Sweet Baby Inc. And what about Alan Wake 2, where a playable character was race-swapped for an empowered black female FBI agent? Who's surprised at all about that? Only to then deliver the room-level dialogue to tell us how empowered she is, Sweet Baby Inc. Now, I haven't played it, I'd heard good things about Alan Wake 2, but who really knows? Sometimes when a game is critically acclaimed by the media for the writing, I end up experiencing it, and it's just a whole bunch of nonsense. It's like the Emperor's New Clothes. People want to say it's good when it really that isn't, but people don't want to sound like they're the odd one out and they didn't get it. I don't know. Maybe it's actually good. I haven't played it. But the person then says, this is the poster on Resetera, "Where's the proof that Sweet Baby Inc. was responsible for Haley or Saga storylines from Alan Wake 2? There isn't any, because it's literally fucking made up. Instead of accepting societal change, it's always some fucking boogeyman's fault. Those fucking sweet babies are why Alan Wake 2 has a black woman protagonist. It couldn't have possibly been because Sam Lake and his team at Remedy wanted this." Again, these people do not get it. It is not purely about Sweet Baby Inc. being the villains and they're the ones who are turning gold into shit. That is not it. It is the idea that a video game company hires them in the first place. That is a huge part of it. If they're willing to do that, it tells us that a lot of people within that game developer probably like that sort of nonsense, and they share the same common goal, which is, we don't care about video games, not really, we just want to push the message. That is our top priority. So if a game company is doing that, we would like to boycott them, as well as anything that involves Sweet Baby Inc. Maybe not everyone feels that way, but that's how I kind of see it. I don't want to see anything about Sweet Baby Inc., and I'd rather avoid a lot of these companies that are hiring them in the first place, because they are crazy, and they keep melting down. We've got this person, LMAO. They act like the company that I've only just heard about now is the source of all things woke, when the devs, publishers themselves are the ones consulting them, which shows a desire to be inclusive, inoffensive, which chuds consider woke. I keep seeing the word chuds. I've heard that for a while. If I see that word, I know the person who is talking is an insane individual not to be listened to. It's a nice little red flag that I can just disregard everything. Thank you so much. But again, these people think this is some sort of gotcha. When they say, oh, when the company hires Sweet Baby Inc., they actually want them to be there. Did you ever think of that? Yes, we did. And that's why, a big reason why we're boycotting it. We don't want these companies who have shitty employees who put this stuff first over the medium, over actually creating something that's entertainment. This is like trying to cut the head of a hydra with a toy knife. They'll be mad about something else the next month. Yes, because next month there'll be more nonsense like this. It is very hard to escape in 2024, sadly. And this person says something that I see a lot. I wonder what a normal, non-terminally online casual gamer thinks about shit like this. Always these people, they act like the everyday person loves any of this crap. They love being talked down to, they love political messaging and all of their entertainment. I don't know about you, but when I just speak to, say, an everyday person at work, someone who barely spends time on the internet, at least not like me, not like us, they might browse occasionally, but they're just a normie, they're just living their normal life. I honestly find that they don't like this stuff either. They might not be super outspoken about it, but they will make little comments here and there, like, everyone gets offended about things nowadays, or you can't really voice their opinion. They say that sort of stuff. I hear people all the time make comments like that, and I think they just don't want to be outspoken. They don't like this crap. It doesn't mean that they're going to die on their sword and bang on to everyone about it, but they're not fans. It's just that you crazies have kind of silenced those people, and they just don't want the trouble. They go, if we say something, it's probably not going to be great for us, so we'll just quietly avoid products like this, and we'll stop giving a shit. We've seen it at the box office. Marvel movies, a lot of this nonsense, it's not really making any money anymore. The Top Gun Mavericks, the Dune 2s, that's what brings in the dollars now. Just pure entertainment. Not this messaging, not these vehicles for your own agendas, where the entertainment is a secondary and you don't really care about it. I'll end with this one where someone says, "Do we know why it is that Sweet Baby Inc. are the target?" And this person replies, "Because their leaders are people of colour. It's plain and simple targeted harassment, racism, misogyny." Oh, okay, so it's not just because they're people of color, it's that they're, I assume, women as well. It's literally all of them. It's like the bingo, the chart where we've ticked all of the boxes of isms and phobes and all of that crap. This is basically it. It's always the victim mentality where no matter what happens, if you criticize anyone, there's some ulterior motive. It can never be the content of what these clowns are saying. We heard that crazy person go on about, oh, you need to terrify the marketing team, make management scared, so they insert this crap into the games. We heard that. They're totally foolish. I don't care what the person looks like. They are crazy. They shouldn't be listened to, and it's fantastic to see this group going. 146k and counting. I bet you the next time I refresh, it's going to be above 150,000. Keep this train going. It's bringing out the crazies. They're absolutely melting down. I could continue with this. There is 6+ pages and growing. I'm sure if I went on Reddit or something, there'd be similar people losing their mind. It's great to see. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.